The Mediterranean Sea can now be considered a Roman lake once again, and the gateways to this lake in Gibraltar and in Cairo are held strongly by Imperium forces, and they will become bastions of strength to hold on to the Mediterranean for all the rest of time. The Imperium can quite contentedly sail back and forth across the Mediterranean Sea without any fear of any aggression by their enemies, and the Nova Roma Imperium, the people are happy for that fact. But there is disturbing reports from the south in Africa, where British Commonwealth forces have recaptured Belgian Congo and still control on to Tanganyika, and threatening the Imperium's East African colonies in this theater. Quite grim for the Imperium forces, although it is quite far away. This is the foot in the doorway of the Imperium that could perhaps crumble the entirety of their empire. Further afield and abroad, the German allies to the north hold on to France, although quite weakly. The Spanish Civil War has taken a nasty turn for the nationalists, as their attack against Catalonia has faltered and failed, and they lost the entirety of their air forces, and now the Republicans are resurgent in their strength and recaptured eastern Andalusia and Basque Country. The Germans have declared war against the Soviet state and have marched in troops into Ukraine and captured almost the entirety of that territory, and moved into southern Belarusia, captured much of Finland and into Kola Peninsula, and things were quite good for them initially, but the Soviet response was to build up an entirely huge amount of forces. In the Transcaucasus alone, they have something to the tune of, 15 odd units in the Transcaucasus. They built another 15 units are present here in eastern Ukraine, 9 infantry divisions, 3 infantry divisions there, 14 infantry divisions in Leningrad, a quite sizable force. And the unit discrepancy between those two powers, although the quality resides with the German forces, the quantity seems to be now tipping in the balance of the Soviet forces. And defensively, the defensively quantity is almost better than quality. And offensively, here we see that the Germans, they have a two-front war in its entirety. They have to face off against the Soviets here, and their attacks begin to falter. But in the east, they have to become concerned about what the British and the Americans can throw at them in this theater. The Soviets do have some help in the form of the Japanese making inroads against the Soviet territories here, but again, the Soviets in this theater are quite strong in their own right, with a significant presence of forces, cavalry and infantry divisions, plenty of militia as well, and now the Japanese have to contend with the CCP, the Soviets up here in this theater, and the KMT in their minority over here in Tsingtao, but also the resurgent and the quickly mobilizing Americans and the ever-present FEC and Anzac forces. The Imperium is now slightly concerned, for though their own piece of the world is quite content and securely held in their hands, they're still concerned with what goes on abroad, and therefore they have decided to assist their allies in any way, shape, or form that they could possibly do so to help tip the balance in the favor of the Axis powers. Welcome all to Operation Valkyrie. We're playing as the Nova Roma Imperium just for the fun of it. Let's take a look at our technology right now. Sliding over to this theater here, we have a technology that we're working on, the Airborne Doctrine. We get to roll a dice here at 2, and because we have 2 plus 2 dice modifier, we need to roll a 5 or less, a 5 or better rather. Shouldn't be that hard. It's an 11. Excellent. So we move up to the next stage here, and this dice roll modifier gets shifted off somewhere. So we're at stage 2 on Airborne Doctrine. We turn our attention to our combat purchases. So we have 24 bucks to spend. 24 bucks, which is not insignificant. We're going to be building up some forces for our allies. We're going to get Coast Artillery for 5, Fortification for 4, Nationalist Infantry for 3, a Marine for 4. That brings us up to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 bucks. 2 infantry and militia for the Italians. Now we turn our attention to our attack moves. Let's first do this one. From southern Iraq to Kuwait, we capture that territory. Just walk on. Not really any reason for that, but just for fun. This seaplane flies across to A44 and convoy raids this sea zone. And then we do a major attack in this theater here. Now this is somewhat of a foolhardy attack, but these 2 air units here are too tempting of a target to miss out. From Italian Somaliland, colonial infantry, an anti-aircraft gun from Abyssinia, motorized cavalry, infantry, and mountain coming across from Abyssinia as well. So quite the difficult fight. And that is it for our combats. Let's just drag these over here to this theater. And let's quickly do our convoy rating first. So we have 2 dice somewhere here. Red is the attacker, blue is the defender. This is for our seaplane. There we go. Sometimes those dice don't go down. No hits for the seaplane. I think that seaplane is consistently missed. Now, I'm not sure if this is I believe this is considered a combat move from my previous memory here. This submarine is going to go 1, 2, 3. I kind of almost forgot about that. Coming to sea zone I3. But these 3 ships are also going to come in as well. So there are 3 destroyers coming from this sea zone. M7, using the naval base of this port. 1, 2, 3, 4 to that sea zone. We're going to send this guy here to help blockade. And that is essentially it for those guys. So a combat move to blockade this port so that nothing can go in. I believe there's also a blockade marker somewhere here. Trying to be somewhat quick with my turn today. I'm a little short on time. Again, as always, eh? Blockaded. Alright. And now we're going to go on to this combat here. Okay. So it all boils down to that anti-aircraft gun if it could do some usage against the enemy. So we have present here cavalry at 3, an anti-aircraft gun at 3, and then we have 4 at 2. For the defense, they have a fighter at 6, medium bomber, and 2 infantry type units at 4. So we have, like I said, 2 at 3. We have our cavalry. Let's throw that there. Cavalry also at 3. And for the rest of it, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we could take out an aircraft on the first round of combat, I think we'll win this fight. If we can't, that's going to be quite grim. But we'll still see if we could do it off. We succeed. 1 hit here, 2 hits in total. 1 against a regular unit and 1 against air unit. Now, I guess it doesn't matter too much because their medium bomber would have been off the board anyways. So that's 2 hits against them. I will simply park the medium bomber here since it's the cheapest unit and the infantry here. Now let's see what the response is. They have 3 at 4 and 1 at 6. So we expect to be hit twice here. 1 hit. 1 hit. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. So we'll take off the anti-aircraft gun. That gives us a lot of oomph for the next round of combat. Okay, so we're going to take off their 2 at 4. And on our end, we're going to take off our 2 dice here, and that's it. So we're going into round 2. Round 2, I need to shut off my alarm here. I should be leaving pretty soon. Round 2, we have 1 hit. 1 hit on round 2 from one of our infantry. And in response, they have 1 at 4 and 1 at 3. So we're going to take a quick peek here. So we got 1 hit there. Going to take off their mountain infantry. And we lost 1 unit, so infantry is going to come off the board. Okay, that means this guy here. And they're left with just their fighters, so we're going to go into round 1, 2, 3, yeah, round 4, or 3 rather, with our cavalry and 3 infantry. 1 hit. That's all we need to finish that fight. Excellent. And on their end, they have just their 1 fighter. This one will be a bit dicey. Missed, just missed, barely. Okay, so we managed to take off 1 colonial infantry, leaving us with a mountain, a motorized, and cavalry. Actually, we're going to take off our cavalry in this last round. So that leaves us with 3 units here surviving. And we've managed to take out the French forces. Excellent. So, for better or for worse, that might have been a foolhardy attack, but I'll take that exchange. We have our cavalry's dead. Motorized. These 3, and those are dead as well. I captured this territory, Tanganyika, and got rid of the French Air Force. Pretty happy about that. Okay, I think we're going on to non-combat moves at this point. Yeah, this force is dead regardless next turn, I believe. So we're going to send from Nubia to Abyssinia 1 airborne anti-aircraft gun, walk 1 infantry to Nubia over here. Yeah, Nubia over here. We're going to rail 1 from Lower Egypt to this position here. Yep. Okay. Turning our attention to parts of other parts here. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky with the Navy. It's a little confusing even for me. We're going to pick up a Marine from Gibraltar. 1 ship's going to pick up a Marine from Gibraltar and pick up an infantry here. And then going to pick up, this other transport's going to pick up 2 infantry. And we're going to sail them, oopsie daisy, to, let's see, 1, 2, 3 and drop them off in Eritrea. And I think I could still go in port. So you're going to go in port in here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then we have, we're going to do our strategic naval move up to here, pick up a marine, and then he's going to come and end his turn in that same port and drop them off in Lower Egypt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Then we have these units. They're going to go 1, 2, and stay there. You know, we're going to come one space further. 3. So I guess I don't need to put those in port, but they're going to go hang out here. And our Air Force, actually, so over here we're going to send this character, Giovanni Messe. He's going to rail his units to infantry, and we're going to go to southern Belarusia. So it's going to be a horrible battle here. We're going to send them out this direction to southern Belarus to help shore up our allies. We're left with a transport and a light cruiser and a destroyer. They're going to come up to this position. They're going to pick up an infantry and a marine and come to here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3 to Malta region and drop them off in Tobruk. Yep, and then we're left with our Air Force. That's 2 fighters and a tactical bomber. 1, 2, 3. We're going to drop them off in Nubia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, oopsie daisy. Yeah, I have all my alarms going off because it's time for me to go to work. Alright. Okay, that about does it for all our moves. Seaplane is going to land back here in Gibraltar. That was a failed attack. And I believe that is about it for all of our moves. Now we're just going to place some units on the board. We're going to place our... We're going to send the nationalist unit. My thinking is we're going to send him wherever my opponent wants him, and I believe they get to choose, but in case they don't and I miss out on something, I think it has to go Western Andalusia because that shipyard is broken. I believe that's the case. Then we have a marine is going to show up wherever the Japanese wish. I don't know if I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we could bypass. I believe we could bypass my opponents wherever that marine went. We could bypass that FEC transport and send them here. And the rest of this, I think it's pretty well evident where they're going to go. I'm going to send 1 infantry to Cairo. I'm going to send 1 militia to Abyssinia. I'm going to send 1 infantry, has to go up here. And then I have an artillery. I'm going to put it right on the border between those two, and the fort is going to begin to be started here in Gibraltar. So that's the state of affairs there. Mm-hmm. 3, 4, 5, 6. How do I get something? Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. Okay, so that's the state of affairs there. Perfect. This submarine, 1, 2, 3, he actually goes a little further to this position here in I-1. That's where he goes to, and that way we hope to blockade anything that could go to South Africa. I think we hope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that's alright. And that's it, guys. I'm very pressed for time, so I hope I haven't missed anything too dramatic. I don't think we captured any income producing stuff, so we go once again to $24. I think, and I think 3 surface ships is sufficient to blockade this. And if not, then oh well. Okay guys, thanks all for watching. Cheers!